Hi, the Show, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm Brady.
And I'm Katie.
And today we're going to talk about the viscosity of marshmallows.
Chewy. Actually, we're going to talk about camping today and all of its culture.
So I guess that means it's time to jump right into I Digress. So you actually just went camping, didn't you?
Oh man, for 2 weekends in a row. We went, one weekend was up to Mirror Lake. It's by Lake Pend Oreille, which is basically a giant inland sea, and I had to chaperone a bunch of 4-H kids, which basically meant I got to float around in a tube in 75-degree water and watch them throw each other off a dock. It was wonderful.
Oh, wonderful.
I know. And then the next weekend we went, my friends own this like huge nature preserve on the Pack River up in the Panhandle, and we took our 1%er trailer, which we're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
Broadcasting. I mean, we're being legit camp cool people. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I wish you guys can see this. We'll probably post some pictures of this on social media, but it's straight a mansion, but it's a trailer.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go on a cross-country road trip with my kids before their last year of homeschooling elapsed, and that became another episode entirely. But anyways, our friends, we wanted to talk about camping today because camping has become kind of a thing in our country. It always kind of has been since probably, I think camping culture started in America, I believe, in the 20s. And then it just, because, people are like, hey, let's tow our home with us. and then camping in tents has obviously been a thing since the Stone Age. Well, since we're like, let's butcher this goat and make a thing,
People used to just live outside.
That's true. Now we do it for fun.
Yeah, now it's like a hobby.
And it's not cool unless you get Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And now you get like 1 week out of every year out of your job to just go out and live in the woods.
Well, and I find this amusing partially because of how I grew up. Because, people now camp for the novelty of it and to get back with nature and stuff. But when I was a kid, my grandma and grandpa and my dad and everybody, they used to get units of old logging units from the Forest Service, and they would clean them up and burn them. And so they actually literally lived in the Cascade Mountains for months at a time in wall tents.
Oh.
And so when I was a little kid, it was normal for me to see my grandma washing her hair in Tackalack Lake, and there'd be like a fish carcass next to it. I don't know why I remember that. But yay, Grandma putting sulfates in the lake. I'm sorry, EPA.
Yay.
But,
pollution.
They would live up there for months at a time, and it was just normal to, eat trout breaded in cornbread and fried in a thing and have biscuits and gravy. We had a wood stove in our tent. It was camping on a different level than getting your REI backpack tent now and stuff.
That's more like living than camping in a way.
I think so.
I guess. It's almost more like camping as a utility more than as a hobby.
Yeah, and what is the difference? Because I bought this trailer out of necessity. Every year we live at the fairgrounds. And then I was like, well, instead of sleeping on the ground, because I did that, my husband's older, so I made sure that we got a comfy bed. And I got to say, I like this 1%er trailer. It's pretty comfy.
Yeah, this is the fanciest trailer I've ever been in, just personally. The last RV I was in was kind of like a really old, probably like 1970s Winnebago.
Oh.
Like on Spaceballs, pretty much.
It smells like poo. Like Spaceballs.
Yeah. Like, there was no Schwartz in it, though, this time, but... But the 1%er trailer is all the Schwartz.
All the Schwartz. Well, it's nice. I grew up...
Like, you guys, it's got... I don't think that's real granite or marble countertops, but it's mock granite. It looks really fancy. There's an island. Like, I never seen an island in an RV before. And it's not even that big. Like, it's not grandiose by any means. It's pretty small. But the way that they laid everything out is, like, I don't know, just perfect.
It's weird being in a camper and it has stainless steel appliances and an LCD TV. Yeah, it's different, and an air conditioning.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in here. The sound might be a little different. We're not recording in our normal studio. We're recording in the 1% trailer, which, well, the walls are closer together, so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. But otherwise, I thought it would be fitting for our camping culture episode, specifically because we definitely want to talk about glamping.
Yes, we do.
But before we do talk about glamping, we definitely want to talk about the hardcore camping enthusiasts that go out in tents with nothing. Like Survivor Man.
So are we going to
Except he didn't even have a tent.
Are we going to eat a 2-day-old rat that we find in the woods?
Yeah,
does that make you a real camper?
Yeah, where's your pee filter in here? Why don't you have one of those?
I didn't buy one of those. I didn't know we needed it. We have a water filter on the water. Does that count? It's an important part of RVing. You have to have the water filter that hooks up to the water line.
Yeah, well, you have to have water, unfortunately.
Okay, speaking of camping.
Do you want to drink out of the lake and get beaver fever?
No, you bring one of those Katadyn filter things. Have you ever used those? Okay, so like...
I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where they'll be like, let's put vodka through it.
Does it work?
I don't know.
What do you mean through vodka through it? It's for water.
People put vodka through those to make it better vodka. Filters out the impurities.
So you could buy like the cheap
alcohol.
Military special vodka that's like $6.95 a bottle and turn it into middle or top shelf Grey Goose sort of stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Pouring it through the filter?
Yeah.
How does that science work? Allegedly.
Well, I think normally you do through a Brita filter.
Okay.
I only imagine those pea filters, as I like to call them.
The pea filter?
The swamp water filters, basically. The Survivor...
I feel like I've been camping
The Survivor
wrong.
straws.
Oh.
People put them through that... Or the Brita filters to like get the impurities out, and you have like some top shelf shit.
So do you do that? Language. Well, that's okay. That's kind of what I was thinking it actually was. Well, the only experience I've had with the water filters or filters is just a couple years ago. I hiked Olive Priest Lake, and I don't even like to sleep in a tent. I like a hammock because I feel like a little soft taco, and you don't have to sleep on the ground.
Well, the ground hurts.
Well, I slept on it. We didn't have an RV. Me personally, my grandparents always did, but I didn't ever camp like this. It was always legit camping. You know, you took a tent, a camp stove. A lot of times you caught your own dinner.
If you're lucky, you had a yoga mat in your tent.
We didn't have those. Yeah. We did have an air mattress that would go flat a lot. I remember that.
I guess that's still better than nothing. Any layer of anything between you and the hard ground, I think, is preferable.
Yeah.
But there are some people out there that they don't even bring a tent. They'll just go out.
No, I just...
fucking throw some leaves up.
I used to sleep outside a lot when I lived in Alaska. My favorite kind of camping is camping in a snow cave. I know that sounds weird, but it's so wonderful.
I did outdoor living class as extracurricular, or I guess it wasn't really extracurricular, it was an elective in high school.
Okay.
But it was such an awesome class, I did it twice. So, but we had to make snow forts.
Snow forts are legit.
Well, the first year we had to learn the theory of snow forts because we didn't get a lot of snow that year. And the second year we got dumped on.
The theory.
And we were actually able to build the snow forts, so it was pretty cool. So we actually made jerky like a week before that as part of it. And we got to like go out in our snow fort and eat jerky.
Okay.
And talk about the grizzly man.
Well, who's the grizzly man?
He's the guy that went out to live with the bears.
Oh, you mean like Alaska? Oh, the guy that got eaten?
He got eaten.
Okay, okay. Well, that's what I used to do in my snow cave is when I lived in the logging camp, one night we got like, I think it was 4 feet of snow because on the coast there we got 242 inches of rain a year, so sometimes it would come as snow. And so they had to shovel all our roofs off, so I had an 8-foot by 60-foot swath of snow, and so I hand dug out myself a little cave, and it was so warm in there that I just took my polyester blanket my grandma made me, and I slept in there, and the bears like kind of came up and sniffed around, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. So I didn't wimp out though. I stayed in my cave all night.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think
like Batman.
Catman.
Catman.
Catman was in her cave with the bears. Well, and that brings to the point, like, camping. There's different manifestations of camping, right? You have where you just sleep on the ground, like backcountry. That's a big thing now.
Bear Grylls camping.
Yeah, like where, oh, look, it's a 2-day-old squirrel. That's all I'm going to eat. Do you just not take food when you camp like that?
I don't think you're supposed to.
Well,
like, I think there's like an entire experience to it. Like,
so that's experiential camping.
Yeah, we're talking about like the most extreme form of camping. Like I said, Bear Grylls. Like, oh, we're gonna eat our own pee today.
Yeah, let's not filter it. We're gonna go au naturel, right? Yeah. That's the proper way to drink your pee.
Yeah, and actually, there's been some YouTube videos popping up lately that have been gaining some friction. That are just people going out. I lived alone for 3 weeks in the woods. With nothing.
Does that make you better than other people for being an idiot? Because I feel like we worked really hard as a species to get away from that.
I think there's a bit of an elitism to it. Like,
I hate elitism.
I can live like this and put myself through pain just for a video. And then there's also the, I think there's tiers to it. So you got that kind of camping.
Okay.
And then the next level up is like, okay, you got a tent and maybe like a basic survival kit.
And Instagram.
It's probably important to have Band-Aids.
I do have a med kit that I take when I go in the woods because, accidents happen. But that's if I go in the backwoods, you know. Okay, so there's that level. Then there's, like, millennial camping. Because they said 41% of millennials, like, I think I wrote it down somewhere, too, that, 41% of millennials went camping. And they like structured excursions, like guided hikes, outdoor tours, and group camp activities. So that's more of, like a social thing.
Yeah,
right?
And actually sometimes they'll rent out cabins to sleep in instead of tents and stuff. So
okay.
It's not an entirely outdoor experience. Not always.
I think most Americans don't like to be completely unplugged. I think there's some of us that are okay with once in a while going out, but even I like to have my Wi-Fi working. And,
yeah, it's nice to have Wi-Fi. Well, luckily nowadays, you go almost anywhere, you're going to have at least enough bars on your cell phone to make a call if you have to.
Or text.
Granted, there's still a lot of wilderness where it's just desolate, but satellite phones are very cheap nowadays.
That's true. Well,
I think $100 you can get a satellite phone to. It'll make it'll send out an emergency signal if you push the red button, and they'll be able to find you.
Which being prepared is not a bad thing. Every year here, especially during hunting season, we have rescue. Like people have to be rescued. Sometimes it's kind of sad they're barely off the road, but they can't find it back because people think, oh, I can go in the woods. I have an Onyx app, and it's like no, you need to practice and you need to kind of protect yourself, make sure people know where you're going. A lot of that happens because every year someone dies, from exposure or, hey, I'm going to pose for a photo here for my friends.
Yeah.
That's more common than not.
Oh, I got to tell you.
Okay.
I went hiking on the Palouse Falls Trail. Mm-hmm. It's in Washington.
It's pretty.
And it's a very, very beautiful hiking trail. If anyone ever gets the chance, I recommend going. You start at the top of this cliff, it's probably 100-foot drop.
Mm-hmm.
No guardrails or nothing. Obviously, it's just wilderness. It's kind of out on a reserve.
Okay.
And when we got there was a really long line in the parking lot to go park. It was just a really popular day that day. It was also like 110 degrees out.
Okay.
And we're sitting there just waiting in line, and this guy was coming to talk to us, and he was like, so what's going on? And we kind of were talking about it, and he went out, walked ahead, and then came back like 10 minutes later. Nobody had moved. He's like, yeah, it's going to be a while. And told us about parking spot. Anyway, when I think it was like, 45 minutes later, we finally got to park and go in the park. Because they actually only allow a certain amount of people in, which is why it took so long.
Okay.
About 2 hours into the hike, we got down to the bottom of the cliffs. There's a nice little trail going down there. And all of a sudden, emergency vehicles were everywhere. Helicopters flying around. I'm like, what the hell? Someone fall in the river? Because right at the bottom of the cliff is a river you can swim in, and it goes to the falls. So, you don't want to swim in the deep part. But, so we're just swimming and kind of taking some pictures and, smoking a little chiba. And,
it's Washington.
Yeah,
okay.
It was Washington. It was legal at the time, everybody, just so you know. But we're just chilling and wondering why the helicopters are going around. Okay. Well, we start talking to people down the trail a little bit. And the guy who we were talking to in the parking lot fell off the 100-foot cliff because he decided he wanted to take a selfie.
Oh.
And turns out there's this thing called selfie vertigo.
Really?
Where
Really?
when you hold the way you hold the selfie stick and you're looking into the camera at yourself, it can trigger some kind of vertigo. And he unfortunately was doing that at the edge of a 100-foot cliff and fell off right in front of his girlfriend.
So he lost his life?
Yeah, he died. He ended up hitting the ground, rolling into the river, and it took him 10 or 15 hours to find him downriver.
That's
because
so
he went
sad.
off the fall. He went off the waterfall, which is another 100 and I think 20 or something foot drop into this little pond, and then that goes downriver more. And it took him a while to find the guy, but yeah, we found out it was the guy that we were talking to in the parking lot just a couple hours ago. At the time.
So you spoke to him, and then a couple hours later he yeeted himself right off the cliff?
Yeah, unfortunately. And he seemed like a pretty cool dude. He was there with his friend and his girlfriend, and instead of having them take the picture, he wanted to do a selfie.
Oh, I don't feel like any selfie is worth dying for.
I feel like I should probably, public service announcement, don't be taking selfies on the edges of cliffs.
It's a huge problem. You see people in Yosemite dying all the time from that.
Yeah.
Why do people think... Okay, National Geographic has probably taken a picture of every cool natural feature ever on the world, or some other photographer, so it's cool that you're there, but be safe, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand... No amount of likes is worth you dying over.
No. Not at all.
It's just...
Yeah, he could have just been a risk taker or something, too. Some people are like that.
Well, and I guess we all...
Maybe he had toxoplasmosis or something.
Oh, he chewed his nails after he cleaned the cat box?
Yeah.
That's
you
really
never know.
unfortunate.
There is... I guess there's scientists saying that it's linked to reckless behavior.
Well,
to be infected with that. So you never know. He could have just had that and not cared at all.
Wow. I kind of feel if you're taking a selfie on the edge of the cliff, you kind of don't care about anybody but yourself. But that might be a little judgmental of me. I don't know. I think you're right. You hit on something with elitism. there's these different levels of elitism, because you wanted to talk about glamping. Let's
yeah,
segue into that.
we'll eventually get to glamping.
But that is the ultimate elitism in camping. So you have different levels. Like, you have your backcountry people that are like, I'm the toughest person ever. I eat, squirrel guts and I drink my own piss, so you have that. And then you have regular people that just go camping because, I keep forgetting, it's hard for me because I'm looking at trees right now. People, most of them in our country, live in urban areas. And so for them, it must be just amazing, because a lot of times where people go camping, to me, it's like being in town. It's so crowded. When I go camping, I want to be away from people.
I mean, everybody has their own idea of camping, but when I think of camping, like, I'm going to go get a tent, and I'm going to try to find a place where that... Because I'm not a big tourist kind of guy. I don't want to be around a lot of people. I want to experience the things I want to experience, with me and maybe my family or something.
Oh, yeah.
But especially with camping, it kind of just breaks the entire immersion in nature, to have a bunch of people around with their RVs or their freaking,
making noise
or whatever, The occasional ATV or something is okay, but like...
Oh, they're loud.
Yeah, but like, I want a surreal nature experience when I go camping.
You don't want to be like Tom Haverford.
But I also, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and it's just a big thing around here.
It is.
Because there's so much wilderness, beautiful wilderness everywhere. So camping's just been a real thing around here, but it's been kind of overrun by like 1%er RVs.
It has.
And yuppies.
Well, and then now with the Rona, people can't go on their regular vacations. So especially here where we live, we are overran.
Oh, I bet,
It is like every campground, even just dirt on the side of the road, there are people just packing it in here, trying to have some sort of experience or get away, or, we don't require a lot of the things that the other states do.
Right.
And so they're all here doing that, and that has caused some problems. Like my friends who have the riverside property, this person was there and he was kayaking and he had glass bottles in his kayak, which is like the number one no-no around water. You don't have glass, and he fell over and broke glass all over the river.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so you're dealing with these kind of things, like people just, they're just excited to get out, which I don't blame them, but then they don't think.
Yeah, and if it's people who are usually just used to living in the city and stuff, they track litter with them. They don't clean up all their messes. They just treat nature as if it's like the city. That
there's some sanitation worker that's going to come by with a push broom, and it's like, you can't push broom the riverbed.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately there's developed this like toxic camping culture as well.
Well, the garbage aspect, I hate garbage, and if you take it with you, by God, take it back out.
Leave nature as you found it. Like, we're gonna run out of nature sooner or later, guys. The whole planet's gonna be one giant city. I mean, maybe not in our lifetimes, but God, the way society grows, it's going to get like that. So we need to cherish it while we can and treat it, right.
Well, there are a lot of people that are forming groups they're buying land specifically to put into conservation easements trusts.
Oh, yeah.
So there are people trying to kind of balance that out. That's kind of my goal with my home here. Well, right now I could divide it up and sell it off and make $1 gazillion. I'm not going to do that.
Well, isn't that part of why they did the national parks?
Yes, and the Wilderness Act, which makes a lot of people mad, but at the same point, I've never ever been sad that we have national parks. I think they're awesome.
Although tinfoil hat moment.
Oh, I love that.
There's a bit of a conspiracy behind why there's national parks, because a lot of them have all of these precious minerals and rare metals.
Oh, yeah. We have the world's largest reserve of rare earth
some of them even have, supposedly have oil fields underneath them that are, like, insanely huge.
We're going to exploit it later.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think maybe that's our that's our plan B, that's our rainy day fund.
I got really excited.
Like if we ever have World War III, we're going to be dipping into those precious metals to sell. But then Elon Musk comes along with his freaking SpaceX and he's like, "Let's just mine asteroids."
Yeah.
And that
save the earth for later.
Yeah, then we don't even have to dip into the national parks.
I honestly got really excited because I thought you were going to say that underneath our national parks were secret moon bases and stuff. We're building all sorts of national treasure.
I wouldn't hold them. I wouldn't hold it against them.
Well, you said tinfoil hat, Brady. You kind of got my hopes up, and instead it was just exploitation.
Yeah, I mean, if we want, we can get into that too. I mean, underground bases and stuff are kind of cool. We should do an episode on they
silos.
Call them DUMBs, deep underground military bases, DUMBS.
If the NSA is listening, I would be very, very trustworthy if you would like to let me have a tour. I just like tours.
Yeah, can we see underneath that Denver airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to. Area 51, I'd be all about taking a private tour of that.
Yeah, that'd
you
be
wouldn't
cool.
even have to kill me.
We won't even put it on the podcast.
No.
Wink, wink.
No. We
Cough,
will just...
cough.
Can we make a t-shirt, though, that says I've been to Area 51?
And all I found was t-shirts.
And all I got was a t-shirt and a non-disclosure agreement. So... India.
I wouldn't be surprised if they took you into Area 51, showed you just a completely empty hangar, maybe like an old World War II jet sitting in there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, then they still make you sign a non-disclosure agreement.
They totally would.
I don't know how we went from camping to Area 51, but
because it's us.
Welcome to the Show, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything.
Because I digress.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
back to camping.
Anyway, back to camping. Wouldn't you
Sorry.
guys like to camp at Area 51?
That could be like an eco-village.
Yeah.
You could do authentic desert camping, and then there could be like your authentic UFO experience.
Yeah.
They could charge for that.
People really do that out there, though.
They could
and there's so sorry, we got to talk about this. So we were talking about the tiers of camping. So let's get back on track a little bit.
Okay.
But there's not just tiers of camping. There's also like different biomes that you camp in. Like some people do desert camping.
I love camping in
and
the
there's
desert.
like tundra camping where you're out in the freaking like winter wilderness of Alaska.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah, it could even just be August. Alaska just sucks.
No,
I'm
Brady,
just joking.
it's
I'm just
beautiful.
joking. It is no. I love Alaska.
But the cold
The
does
time
suck.
I was there, it was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, and people have a
I would love
misnomer.
to go back and visit, but
we're gonna have to do an Alaska episode.
I'm just joking. I don't want to offend any Alaskans. You guys, that's one of the most amazing places on earth. To be
don't
honest.
worry about offending them.
But it really is like freaking a wasteland most of the year. Most of the land in Alaska is almost uninhabitable anyway. Like, let's
north
just
of
be real.
Anywhere north of Anchorage is going to be super exciting. We can do an Alaska episode at some point because
we should, because it's really
going
interesting. Like, I don't know a lot about Alaska, but I've heard about this, like the farthest north town that is inhabited in Alaska. It's just really cool, and there's a bunch of videos of it. And they have to like fly in like half a year's worth of materials because the only window to fly in there for the weather that the weather allows is like they have like a month to get all their supplies flown in.
I have actual real anecdotal. My cousins run a logistics company in the wilderness up there.
Oh wow!
So we can talk about that. And then my dad and my brother worked in the places you're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool stuff. Well, and plus we getting our groceries once a week by a DC. The old planes from World War II. I mean, we can talk about all that. But
I'm surprised they don't just like airdrop them in. Like, does that happen there? Like drop boxes out and parachute them down. Like, come on.
I don't know. That would be really cool. A lot of times they move stuff.
I don't know why they don't. I mean, that's something that can be.
That's something that you just want to drop stuff on people.
Let's
maybe. Just be honest. Yeah. So, drop load. It's your own version of Call of Duty or something. Just prepare to drop.
Yeah. Drop ship inbound.
Yeah. It's time for our loadouts.
But back to like camping, the tiers of camping.
Yeah,
so you got your different biomes to camp in, but each biome will still have these tiers of camping. So we were talking about what was the next tier, like the millennial retreats.
Yeah, well they did, and then there's the RVers is their own culture. Like in campers, motorhomes, that is a completely different subset of camping because one, you pay a little more. There's a little more money involved, so it's definitely more of a middle class and honestly upper middle class. My grandparents have always had travel trailers, and they had 1,000 Trails membership, and since I was a poor kid, being able to go to campgrounds that had swimming pools and be in these 1% RVs, they had one of those Winnebago tour buses. Yeah. With the diesel, and you're talking about house mortgage. Those are expensive. Yeah. But the people that have those, that's their lifestyle. It's amazing. And so they camp like it's basically like you're living at home, And
I always found that weird. That you want to go camping, you want to go out in the woods, but you want to bring your entire house with you and live as if you weren't in the woods, so it's like almost, what's the point? Why don't you just sit at home and watch the freaking Discovery Channel?
Well, you could just get a YouTube video of different scenes of nature streaming, and you could almost get the same effect, right?
Yeah, like with VR nowadays, just put it on the VR YouTube and watch a freaking nature video.
It's
like,
Oculus
there's a 10-hour loop of literally anything on YouTube nowadays, so you could probably find a 10-hour loop of just somebody walking through the forest looking for Bigfoot.
Oh, back to squatching.
Yeah,
that's
call
why
back.
Tom goes. Yeah, call back.
But like it'd be the same experience, like that bringing your RV because then you have all your amenities.
Have you seen how big some of them are? This one's only 28 feet long. So as far as trailers go, it is not a huge one, and that was purposeful because I don't want to tow something massive. Yeah, I just don't. The thing is not even like it's behind my truck.
Yeah, it's not like a fifth wheel. Like this is just a trailer.
Yeah, it's just a travel trailer, and it was intentionally. I didn't want over 30 feet because I'm sorry, guys, towing something over 30 feet through any town Not a good time.
No.
Especially, we took this to Canada. Or no, wait, I camped to Canada. My friends took a fifth wheel to Canada. In Canada, this is an FYI if you ever want to go camping up there, their gas stations are in their towns. You know, in America, we have truck stops. At least in Western Canada, I'm talking Alberta, BC. You're going to have to go right in the town to get to the gas station. Well, if you've got a 35-foot RV plus your truck, you're looking at like 60 feet long. Not a good time when you're going to this little tiny gas station. Whereas in America, you know, we have these huge truck stops. It's not such a big deal. But anyways,
yeah, America. But I mean, America's always thrived on the trucking industry.
Well, we have a ton of space.
It's one of the biggest industries in America.
It is. It has its own culture, which is pretty fun.
So of course, to facilitate that, they have these massive like truck stops everywhere. You know, like 10 pump gas stations and all the food you could ever want.
Oh yeah, I slept in one during a blizzard.
A lot of them have showers now, you know.
It's like 50 cents. No, they're like $15 for a shower.
Oh,
they're freaking expensive.
I thought you just walked in there, put coins in it, and it was like on a timer.
It used to be that way, but now they're really costly. But they're also really nice showers, and I think they're safer. Like some truck stops when I was a kid were super scary. Now they're pretty nice. There are some interesting things that happen at truck stops.
Well, I remember just traveling through Montana.
Oh, Lord.
For when I worked at this company, we went and counted inventory at grocery stores and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, they'd ship us through Montana to these small little towns to count these like little you know, mom and pop stores too. And you know, I saw the most interesting truck stops sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Montana has some legendary. I met my first lady with a full beard there. She was super cool, but it was blonde. I'm sorry, just a truck stop. It was on the It was near the Crow Native American Reservation. And right. And it was really weird because it was an older one, and you had to turn sideways to go into the bathroom. But so I was a little close to the lady with the full blonde beard, and I wanted to ask her some questions about like her Viking heritage because it was beautiful. I'm sorry, and I'm not mocking. It was beautiful.
You gotta love it though.
Well, it was gorgeous, and I was just like, I remember not staring because I was thinking about it, but I was like, wow. And I'm thinking about it right now. I'm sorry, people. Okay, anyway.
But anyway, back to camping and everything. So we keep we're going off the rails a little bit here, but it's
because it's summer and we're tired and we have children.
Exactly. Yeah. Plus, you just got back from camping, so
I did.
I just figured it would be a great episode. I don't have a lot of camping experience. I only ever really been like 4 times probably, and it was always in an RV.
Really? You've never actually tent camped?
I did one time. I went tent camping, and it was amazing. But the whole time, I just kept thinking, we're going to attract bears with our cooking.
Oh, well.
But we had bear mace, and I wasn't that worried. But, like, I still don't want to encounter a bear. And that's something we have to bring up, like, there's in that elite level of camping, where you're just out in the wilderness, maybe with a tent, if you're lucky, Mm-hmm. There are dangers to it, Not just from falling off cliffs because you're trying to take a selfie. You have like bears and cougars are a big problem up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yep, and exposure gets a lot of people.
And because camping has been kind of popular up here for the longest time, these bears and these cougars, and even the moose, they know that we're out there now, and they know what kind of smells to look for when we're cooking food, or where we throw our food garbage, or if we just leave something out on accident, or you have some hot dogs in your cooler and you leave the cooler out while you're sleeping in your tent.
Yep.
They're going to come find that food. They can sniff it out, man. Their noses are insane.
Well, in a lot of backcountry, like when I went up to navigation at the end of Priest Lake, they have bear lockers for your food.
Oh, that's kind of smart.
So you'll be out, there's no real amenities or like pit toilet, but there are these bear lockers because there's a lot of bears up at Priest Lake and Priest up in that area. In fact, when we hiked back out, a bear and her cubs had just been there, and they try to let everybody know because the people have been attacked up there.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because people are being idiots. If you see...
Well, yeah.
You know what? The bear doesn't... If you're going to take a selfie... One of the stupidest things I ever saw is I was in Banff, Canada. Like, that national park up there is one of the most amazing places ever to go. You should totally go. We were driving along at 70 kilometers an hour, and then all of a sudden... all the cars just stop, and there's a huge traffic jam, and we're in the middle of the wilderness, and it was because there was a mama bear and 2 cubs, and people were literally running across the road in front of high-speed traffic to get a picture of these bears.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I know people get excited. It's weird for me because I grew up with bears.
People from the city just aren't around
it. They're like, bear, and it's like, it's cool, but you don't want to harass the animal trying to get your picture. It's like,
Well, I think part of that, is Disney. Yeah, cartoonifies all these animals, like Winnie the Pooh, right? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, people, bears are not like Winnie the Pooh. No. They're not going to give you a hug.
They're not like Yogi.
Okay? They don't know what a freaking cell phone camera is. Okay?
No.
But they do know survival. because they're very instinctive animals. So if you threaten them with your fancy little iPhone when you're trying to take a picture, they're going to literally tear you apart, limb from limb, and eat you from the asshole up.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care.
And the thing is, just the other day, it's not just bears either. A woman tried to get too close to get a selfie or whatever with a bison at Yellowstone, and she got mauled. And big hooved animals like moose and bison, they will end you.
Yeah, we're talking about something that weighs as much as a Dodge Ram truck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's an animal, and it's alive, and if it gets scared,
it's going to smash you.
It's going to hurt you very badly, if not kill you.
Well, and then self-awareness. It's like, I grew up with bears, and so I have a lot of actual real-life experience with animals that have never seen other humans. And they don't want to go out of their way to eat you or bug you.
They don't want to,
But if you startle one, you better watch out.
Yeah.
You just...
Or if you mess with the maternal instincts of almost any large animal like that out in the wilderness. Like,
kiss your own butt goodbye if you get between
screwed.
mama and baby. You're toast. You know, and we used to laugh. People would wear their bear bells, little jingly bells, and we called those dinner bells. And then bear spray. And all those things can be effective, but I'm sorry, a berserking bear, grizzly or black... Not
fun.
It's going to probably do some damage to you unless you unload some buckshot right in its face. And even then, grizzly bears, have you ever watched The Revenant? That's very accurate.
I knew we were going to bring up The Revenant. I love it.
It's very accurate, though. I had never seen that movie. And then I watched that scene, and that was a huge bore rifle he shot her with. But you see, he startled the bear. You're going to get hurt. We're
talking about pure adrenaline-based berserker mode, and a bear. Imagine, a truck with razor-sharp freaking claws on its paws, right? Mm-hmm. And
big old teeth.
Big, huge teeth. It's a carnivore. Well, omnivore, I guess, technically.
Yeah, pig with hair.
Yeah, but just imagine something that huge with literal killing devices attached to its body running at you. They can run as fast as a car.
Yes, they can.
I've chased 30 miles an hour or more.
I chased a grizzly at 55 with the Ford Bronco.
Just imagine it. You're not going to outrun it.
Nope.
You're not going to put up a fight against it. It's going to just murder you, without a thought, without a care. It's just going to do it. And then it's going to eat you with its face.
Well, and it doesn't care if you're... It's not going to mercy kill you. You could probably still be alive.
No, again, they'll eat you from the asshole up.
One of the best examples of the strengths of bears is when I lived in the logging camp, we had this tire, and there was a black bear hanging in there that one of the men had shot. I think it was a nuisance bear where it got too comfortable with humans and tried to get one of us.
Yeah.
So they're hanging him in there. The walls on the tire shop are huge, rough-cut planks. I'm talking 2x10s. Two grizzly bears ran through the walls, grabbed the bear off the hook, and then ran out through the walls on the other side.
Yeah.
The walls weren't even there. They're the strongest animals I've ever seen.
They're tanks.
They are.
They're the tank version of animals.
And they're also not mean, and they're very inquisitive.
Oh, yeah.
The bears used to pop all our basketballs, and I've been chased. They wouldn't. They tried to bounce
curious.
on the... They are, and I've been chased by a bear. It was... more than once, and it's terrifying because you're thinking in that moment you don't.
You get into your own life or death.
You're
it's two animals, pure instinct.
Yeah,
fight or flight, and if the bear decides to fight, even if you decide to fight, it's just not going to end well normally.
And so I don't understand people
unless you have,
take unnecessary risks with it. It's respect that thing's space because it's not going to respect yours once it crosses that line.
Again, it's not Winnie the Pooh. Okay?
No.
This isn't the 100-acre woods. All right.
Even deer can mess you up. I've seen some deer stompings.
So one of the big dangers of camping is wildlife, and you need to respect your wildlife when you're camping. So, a way around all that is, I think, glamping. But
glamping.
I'm holding off. I don't want to get into glamping yet.
You're not quite ready.
That's the real big rant.
That one is, we're going to talk about that one.
Because there's still a couple more tiers.
Well, if you want the experience of camping, but not quite all the dangers of the wilderness, campgrounds. Campgrounds
are perfect. And that brings me to my next tier. In my mind, at least, there's no official ranking of these, okay?
No, and we're not degrading anybody that likes any of them. We like them all.
I'm just having flashbacks now of summer camps.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know if I count it as camping, but it's called camp.
That's organized group camping.
Yeah.
That counts.
But usually it's a cabin full of bunk beds, right?
Yep.
Very concentration camp feeling. And
institutionalized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of them are religious based, because That's kind of what funds the camps.
Yeah.
They're more
Or
like
Boy
indoctrination in the woods in a way.
Ooh, I've been to a few of these. We could talk about this.
Yeah, some of them are not, but most of them are, religious indoctrination centers just centered in the woods. But those are the only ones I have experience with. My sister did go to a camp in, for school.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was religious based or not, but you get, at least as a kid, I think mostly kids go to these.
Yeah,
to kind of learn
let's have adult summer camps. I'd totally go somewhere I could go, jump on a blob, ropes courses. Somebody cooks me food.
Yeah,
we need an adult summer camp. Maybe not a cult one.
Maybe not a cult. Exist. Yeah, I guess that would be a cult. Wouldn't
I don't want a cult one.
Isn't that just the KKK? Oh, isn't that just adult summer camp?
I don't know. Did you wear uniforms at the camp you went to?
The pointy hats kind of were a little suspicious.
KKK.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of camp I was thinking. I was thinking more of something that served me hot dogs in a good way.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea better.
If I walked out there,
all of the experience of camp, none of the indoctrination of idealism.
I think someone should start that. I would go. I'd pay. Okay, you pay a few $100s to go to a hotel for a weekend. Why not go to camp? You don't have to, as a mom, to not have to plan all of the things required.
That's a good idea.
Kids.
Send your kids to one camp.
And you go to the grown-up one.
And you go to the grown-up camp with all sorts of grown-up fun.
If there was a ropes course, wine time around a campfire at night,
Maybe rent dirt bikes or quads.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
All sorts of stuff, like jet ski rentals and stuff like that. Basically, all the cool stuff adults can do. But why don't we have our own camp? We can do a lot more than the kids can do.
And you could get the cool tray, and then there'd be instead of crappy camp, indoctrination center food, you could have actual good meals.
And an open bar would be nice too.
Oh yeah.
Every night at 6, the open bar starts. Movie night.
This is starting to sound like Sandals, all-inclusive resort.
Oh crap!
But in the woods. Maybe there is adult camps. I didn't even think about it.
Hey, we might have just found an open chunk of the market that hasn't been exploited to death yet.
And I just said that millennials like organized group outings. Would that millennial adult summer camp could be a thing?
Yeah, but there would have to be Wi-Fi.
There would have to be.
Yeah, millennials can't function without Wi-Fi.
We can't.
Or 5. I mean, thank God for 5G, guys. Am I right?
I thought that was so.
Cancer be damned. We get cell phone service everywhere, high speed.
I thought that was the source of all our ailments. Was 5G.
If we
That's
can't
what
be
the
in
Verizon guy told me.
If we can't be in the middle of nowhere and still watch Netflix, it just ain't right.
Life is not worth living.
Yeah. Elon Musk, hurry up and launch more of them Starlinks.
I thought we were gonna do that. He was gonna do that whole space thing where we could get internet everywhere.
That's what I mean. Yeah, get them Starlinks up there, man. Come on.
What is the holdup, sir? I know it's only new science, but come on. You're supposed to be superhuman.
Yeah, come on. It's just rocket science, man.
Eat some more MCT oil and get on that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
get your nootropics on, man.
Oh my gosh. We are going to do a whole episode about anti-aging, and that is going to come in there because I like Dave Asprey. That man is amazing.
Yeah.
He experiments on himself. Most people experiment on other people and then use the benefits of it.
Usually that's ideal in case something goes wrong.
But he does it to himself. He's willing to take the risk because he believes it so much.
He's a human lab rat.
I'm kind of in admiration of such thing. Well,
it's honorable if you think about it.
It really is.
The Nazis did human experiments on the Jews.
Yeah.
But that's not okay.
That wasn't honorable.
But if you're going to do it to yourself, then there's something honorable about that.
It's like all the volunteers right now for the Rona vaccine. It's like they're volunteering to do it themselves.
Yeah, we got to shout out to that.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I hope that we get some good results from that.
People that take the risk without objectifying or subjecting other people to it, I kind of admire them. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to camping because that's one of the people that do that is Bear Grylls. Just for our entertainment on Discovery Channel. He goes out and he lives on that first tier of camping where it's just, let's filter. He doesn't even filter the pee, you guys. He just drinks it. Well, he's just like, I don't even have to do this, but I'm going to drink the zebra pee to stay alive.
It's like, is that good? I feel like it would just not be a good time. When I look at a zebra, I'm like, you know what? That thing drags its dong on the ground.
Yeah, but if it's life or death, man, no other... Well, you're in the Africa wilderness, and there's no water around unless you want to drink alligator crap.
Yeah, well, and also, the pee would be safer than drinking the actual water.
I don't even know if I might be completely inaccurate. Is there alligators in Africa, or is that just crocodiles?
It's crocodiles. Alligators are here.
Regardless, you're going to be drinking things you don't want to drink. So, wouldn't you rather just drink a zebra pee?
Didn't he
It's
have
sterile.
I guess it would. Well, that's what I said. There'd be
Maybe
some
don't-
sort of like single-celled amoeba in the water, whereas at least the zebra pee, it's filtered through.
Yeah. And
Why
you were
would
talking about dragging its dong. Like, you're not going to be drinking it from the dong. Like,
Yeah, but like
it's not
stuff
a
gets
straw.
on it though. It was not a straw. That's not what I meant. Gosh, that was a
Sorry.
bad visual
I'm
image.
sorry.
Anyways, look at my new custom straw. You're talking about elitism.
You know, can we market those?
There's enough poaching already,
Because
Brady.
in California, there's no plastic straws in California.
I got my new
Can you this is the organic zebra dong straws.
It's fully biodegradable.
Yeah, $49.99 for a 10-pack.
You get to use it for a month. No,
Oh, crap,
don't
that's
give
gonna
anybody an
encourage
idea. That's what I
poaching.
said. There's enough poaching.
Poaching, man.
Well, I
don't
watched-
cut off any zebra dongs.
That's not what we're advocating. We're
Come
just
on,
talking
guys.
about the silliness of things.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching. My son was watching. What was it? Running Wild with Bear Grylls. It was one of those survival shows where you had celebrities on,
Oh yeah.
and they were doing stuff.
kind of like Naked and Afraid.
Yes, it was like that. But
That's its own tier of camping.
that
but
is
I
as well.
digress.
Yeah, and that's okay. You can digress. Well, I just watched. They ate a 2-day-old rat, and I don't know if I've ever been that hungry. Like it looked a little. It looked like a little squishy,
Yeah.
and it had a little bit of a scent to it. I could smell it through the TV. This
Yeah.
2-day-old rat. I'm like,
You kind of know what. But again,
isn't there
if you're
some
if
cedar
you're
roots somewhere? I know.
if you're starving, like I play a lot of Minecraft.
Okay.
And for all of you people who know Minecraft, rotten flesh is a food source in the game.
This is true.
And it has negative effects, but it does satiate your hunger.
Yeah, but
Although
it's
thank God
rotten.
we don't have zombies running around our woods yet.
And that's another thing. If you eat uncooked wild game meat, hence the pandemic we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of. You better cook stuff. Fire's
parasites
important.
are real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things cross the blood-brain barrier that you don't want.
Yeah, you guys
crossing.
think the coronavirus is bad. Go ahead and go eat raw bear.
Well, no, is it a prion?
They have. Oh my God, yeah. We could go on all day about that, but that's another.
Cook your
that's another
food,
thing.
people.
Yeah, if you're
food.
if you're an avid camper and you happen to be one of those ones that hunt,
No
I
wilderness.
believe they're called hunters, right?
I was just saying no wilderness poke.
Just
okay?
don't
Cook
eat
your
raw
food.
meat, okay? Raw fish is one thing. Sushi's delicious. Let's just admit it. But I don't know if you want to go eat raw deer. Like, there's so many problems with it.
No. Also, maybe everyone should pack a lemon in their backpack. Little acid.
Oh yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah,
We
yeah,
just
yeah.
keep
What
it-
is that called? Where acids cook a food?
Well,
Like ceviche.
Yeah, well, that's I said. No poke, no wilderness
Yeah.
poke. I think just cooking your food is a better idea. Mm-hmm. You know, if you kill a little rabbit, just cook
And
the food.
so that brings us to campfires.
Yeah, fires.
Extremely important, and it's just kind of like a trope when you're camping. You have to have a campfire,
Except for
and you
during
got to have
fire
your
season.
s'mores. I did promise we were going to talk about the viscosity of marshmallows, right?
Oh, how do you like to eat your marshmallows? Okay, do you like it black?
Oh, it's
As-
got to be a bit black. I don't like the whole thing just completely charred, but a little part of you got to have a little bit of that carbon flavor. I mean, come on.
No, I am a golden brown person. I like to roast mine until it is so perfectly gooey on the inside that when I smush it onto the s'more, because come on, that's how we're gonna eat it, that it just like explodes out the side, and I
Yeah.
wear half of it on my face.
Yeah, of course. No.
Yeah.
The part of the marshmallow culture is wearing it.
You need
I
to.
think. If it's on purpose, that's one thing. Most of the time, it will just drop onto your clothes, whether you like it or not. You'll have that one marshmallow. It's turning out perfect. You're rotating it. You pull it up to eat it, and it just fucking falls off.
Oh, I hate that so much. Or
And then you're sticky, and you attract bears.
And
for, like,
part
the
of
next week.
camping too is to have enough marshmallow patches on you that you have a contingency, or what is it? A legion of ants.
Yes.
You want to have the ants on you.
If you guys want to train your own army of ants,
Yes.
start with roasting marshmallows.
Because you
s'mores are a good negotiating tactic when it comes to soldier ants.
Well, and you also usually have some watermelon juice on you too.
Yeah.
So if it's dripped down your arms and then you have those like nice black streaks of dirt coming on there, then you also have like all sorts of other bugs. You could start a bug army. Like Ant-Man
Yes.
probably wasn't Ant-Man because he shrunk. It was because he ate marshmallows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I always kind of wanted my own army of yellow jackets.
Really?
I don't know how that would work, but if I had a superpower,
You
or if
want-
I could choose a superpower, one option, probably in the top 5, would be to be able to control yellow jackets. I just thought that'd be really cool. Like, if you have an enemy, you just send a swarm of
Like
fucking
just
hornets at them.
like mind melt with the jackets. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Imagine if you could control the murder hornets with your mind.
I'm not super. I love honeybees, but yellow jackets are murderous fiends. I guess if you
Yeah,
wanted
they
a
are.
weapon, that would be cool.
Yeah.
They're so mean, though. God, I got nailed by 5 of those last year. It was not a good time.
That's another camping trope.
Yeah,
is
the bugs.
The bug bites. I mean...
I have a superpower.
It's bad enough up here. We just have some yellow jackets or some hornets or some ants.
We
to
don't
worry
have
about.
all the bugs in the
or,
south that everybody has, like chiggers.
Think about
and stuff.
God. Can you go camping in the Amazon and try to come back alive?
No. Oh, well, I think that's a pass-fail thing.
And I don't even think like Raid works anymore. Or like that off. What is that called? Off.
I need
the bug spray that makes you supposedly invisible to mosquitoes. That don't work no more.
The only way I go camping in the Amazon is if I had a small-scale nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
Just blow up. I'd sleep right in the radioactivity too. Sorry.
I can just imagine the marketing campaign for that.
I'm sorry. Well, I was just going to tell you about my superpower. Mosquitoes don't bite me. And so all of you people up here who go outside and they're like getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, I have Bob, Jerry, and Fred. They land on me and they just hang out.
Yeah.
And so I always felt
You're
so
just
bad.
a big warm tree to them.
I don't know. I think I'm evil and they just don't eat evil. But my dad's the same way. So I think it's genetics.
Oh, yeah.
But sorry, I didn't mean to go thermonuclear. There are so many bad things. There's the little fish that gets in you and eats you from the inside out.
If you can go thermonuclear, always go thermonuclear. Come on.
I'm deploying the nuke.
Yeah. Welcome to America, everybody.
We like nuclear weapons.
We do.
We do. We have a lot of them.
We were the only ones that ever used one in warfare, so...
We are not nice.
Hello.
People. Yeah. But we will.
Sorry.
But we love to camp.
Sorry, not sorry, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. That's an ethical discussion.
It's a divisive thing.
We'll have to... I know, we're trying to...
It's actually only a few weeks ago. It was the anniversary of us dropping the nukes.
Yeah.
Man, we've gone off the rails. But anyway...
it's my fault.
I noticed that, much like almost everything you say on social media, that was a pretty divisive subject with people.
Yeah.
There was some people apologizing, and there were some people saying, "Oh, I'm glad we dropped those nukes." And then it was like this big argument I saw on Twitter when I was just trying to post the show stuff.
Oh, well, it is Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can be cordial. Except for writers. Writers are cordial.
I've noticed Facebook is more like shit posting with their arguments. There's some real genuine arguments on there, but most of the time it's just people shit posting each other, trying to one-up each other. It's almost... I get a little bit of vibes of early 4chan going on Facebook.
Really?
Now... all of the real stuff goes on Twitter, man. That's like...
I thought that was like the WWF deathmatch of the internet. Is Twitter, because it's the small little, it's like a bar fight, kind of.
Yeah.
You get up in each other's face, and it's just little sound bites back and forth.
Yeah, and the reason I bring that up is because not only are people divided over, nuclear weapons, I guarantee we're going to start some arguments about the marshmallow consistency.
Oh, yeah.
Are you team golden brown?
Or
are you
team char?
Super charred? Or do you not even like s'mores? Are you a vegan? Or marshmallows vegan friendly?
But marshmallows are vegan. Aren't
Are
they
they
just made out of corn syrup and sugar?
I don't know. Corn is a living thing. Are they starting to get against vegetables nowadays?
Do we need vegan
How far does the vegan hole go?
You know what? We might have offended some people, and I'm really not sorry.
I don't care
right now. No, I'm like,
I think no matter what you do, you're going to offend people. You could be the wokest person in the entire universe, and just that very nature of that will offend people on its own.
That's because being woke is about being a narcissist.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sort of annoyed right now. We're going to do a gatekeeping episode as well, because we're super annoyed right now at all of that stuff, because it's just irritating.
The only reason we're talking about this is because I already know camping is going to be divisive just like everything else.
Yep.
So
bring the division, people. I'm going to do a poll on our... In fact, I'm going to... On our Instagram, I'll do our first official poll. It's going to be, do you like charred? Or golden brown?
Golden brown.
Or do you just hate marshmallows and want to throw them at humans? Because I also like marshmallow guns.
Yeah, marshmallow guns are awesome.
Yeah.
In fact, that should be in everybody's survival kit.
And also, you can't
go
camping without a marshmallow gun.
If you're going to go Bear Grylls camping, you can't even do it without a marshmallow gun.
It might save your life.
Yeah.
Because you can throw the entire gun at Smokey when he's chasing you, and he'll probably stop for it. Oh, I do have something, though. Tip. If you have children, take a dirty diaper, a pamper, in a Ziploc baggie, and I can guarantee you, if a bear is chasing you, chuck that sucker at him, it'll stop and eat the diaper. It is their favorite thing in the whole world, dirty diapers.
Can we market pre-filled dirty diapers? Because I have an abundance of those
for
my 11-month-old.
You've got some nice vintages.
My God.
Sure. Yeah.
And the stores have run out of diaper pail bags.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and
that's
the stench,
first world.
man, the
that's
stench.
First world problems.
If that stench is bad enough for my nose, a bear can smell food from a mile away, and it doesn't even have to be downwind.
Well, when I was a kid in Alaska, we had open dumps on the island that I lived on, and the bears, love Pampers.
Yeah.
Oh man, there can be an elk carcass fresh in a Pamper, and that bear is gonna go for the Pamper every time.
Maybe it's just a novel smell.
I think it's pre-digested.
They smell dead animals all the time, and they can smell something new like human feces.
I don't know.
Again, they're very curious and inquisitive animals.
And they love themselves some, what is that, plastic products
Silicone.
with poo?
I
diapers
believe diapers are made of the same thing as breast implants.
Gross.
Yeah.
Is it the absorption
But it's just
factor?
little balls instead of giant pouches.
Well, maybe they like the extra chew. I don't know. I think back when I was a kid, diapers still had plastic on them.
I don't even want to imagine. Like, my daughter, Cara, she ripped open a diaper when she was probably like 9 months old. Mm-hmm. And it happened to have been full diaper.
Gross.
So all those little silicone things were
like,
swollen up with pee.
And they were just...
Oh, they get everywhere, and then they cling to things. I don't know why or how. But when they're wet, they cling to things, and you can't freaking get them off. I tried to vacuum it. It was bad. I had to sit there and pick up hundreds or thousands of these little balls.
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah, so, like, imagine eating that.
It makes... we're offending people that wear cloth
that
diapers
can't be good
now,
for
too.
Yeah. Yeah, to all you Earth lovers, I don't blame you. Diapers are bad for the environment. They don't biodegrade.
You know what? Cloth ones use a crap ton of water to clean. So there could be... I don't know if somebody's done a study on which one is better. I kind of wonder if it's a job.
Would it matter? Do people listen to studies anymore? Objective fact is just not real anymore.
Well, I think a lot of it is you have to...
People are just going to go off their gut feelings anymore.
I think as long as you care and you're making an effort, you're a pretty cool person. It's when you get all elitist and you think you're better than everyone else that I have a problem with you.
Yeah.
Because we're all kind of in this together.
And we'll try to loop that back to camping. So elitism.
Yeah.
That's what's going to divide you. Are you a Bear Grylls camper? Or are you a glamper? Or are you somewhere in between?
Or are you
I'd like
circa
to know
1960s?
what's your favorite type of camping? I promised my wife I would talk about this, and I don't know if she's going to like it or not. She's the kind of person who... She likes the outdoors, but she refuses to camp without somewhere to shit that isn't like, a log.
She wants an actual toilet.
Yeah, she doesn't want to wipe her ass with a pine cone.
That's why we have the 1%er trailer, is my husband was in the military, and he had to sleep in foxholes, and he's like, I'm not sleeping on the ground. I'm not paying to go somewhere and sleep on the ground and poop on a log again.
There may not be such a thing as an atheist in a foxhole, but constipation is a real thing.
Well, and apparently there's a certain kind of place to poop. Like, that's a whole nother topic. Military, it's a very important thing to learn, to have these special places to go to the bathroom. Because sometimes after not eating MREs for like 2 weeks, you can only go once every 14 days or something. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, your wife doesn't like to camp because you have to not have any comforts. She's a 21st century gal.
You gotta have a little bit of amenities, yeah.
Well, okay.
Whereas me, like... If I decide to go camping, I'm not going to care all that much. Like I want it to be completely different from my experience living at home, because that would be the entire point of going out in the woods and living, even if it's for a couple days, is to not be at home, to experience life as a barbarian.
So camping for you is like getting in touch with your inner Neanderthal DNA.
It's like I kind of want to put a loincloth on and go full fucking Tarzan.
I've just had a vision of you chasing my dogs around. Get over here, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I really want to like get in touch with my Neanderthal. I don't even know if I'm part Neanderthal.
I think we all have that DNA.
Yeah, but like I want to get in touch with my inner barbarian.
So you want to go like old school camping.
Yeah,
camping to you is like the idea is just getting completely out of your environment and doing something back to nature.
And like no comfort zone, guys.
So you want to...
It's not supposed to have a comfort zone. That's the whole point.
So you're somewhere between survival and backcountry. Like, you would be one of the ones that would go with a tent and a campstone and a cooler, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you need your food and...
And again, I've only ever roughed it camping once.
Oh, well, I've done... My favorite camping, if I'm going to go camping, is to put my backpack on with food I don't have to cook and my hammock.
Yeah.
And I go camp in the woods.
The only reason I've only went camping once was because... It's just expensive. Like, you have to get time off work to go do it.
Oh.
And even though you're just living off the land for a week or whatever, it's like you have your home back at home, and that needs to be paid for. Mm-hmm. So it's not always feasible to just go out and camp in today's society.
That's another thing we're talking about elitism. It's kind
I don't make passive income yet, so...
It's a wealthy person thing, though some levels of camping, like... Because when I was younger and had little kids, we didn't go camping.
Right.
Or we slept out in the yard because I lived in the woods. We do that a lot for fun.
Yeah, I did that. I did that a couple times as a kid just because we had the tents. I was like, I'm just going to go sleep in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And it was completely safe. Like, talk about comfort zone.
Yeah.
Soft, cushy grass under my ass.
Yeah. I slept in my grandma's yard every summer, all summer when we put in hay. I never slept in the house. We slept in her cushy grass. Yeah, she had nice turf.
Yeah.
And we slept in the tent.
Yeah.
It was cool.
And it's like, it's weird. People want to go out and have these camping experiences, but they bring their 1%er trailers, and they're sitting there watching Jeopardy in the wilderness, and it's like, I want the experience where you go out and you tell stories around the campfire, you know, the old school human experience, you know, before any technologies.
Well, it's like...
Maybe some tools. I'd like to have some tools.
Tools are important.
It's a lot easier to, like, you know, cut firewood with at least a knife.
Well, and you know,
I don't want to have to smash stones and make a primitive act. Like, I love the game Minecraft, but I don't want to do it in real life.
It takes a lot more work.
Exhausting than hitting the square button on your PS4 controller. I mean, come on.
And that's another thing with camping. You know, I think you're right about there's these different levels of it, because the 1%er camper, to me, this is a hotel room on wheels. Yeah. That is what I consider it.
And this isn't even glamping.
No.
But this is
we
fancy.
Might need to say into that, or it's going to have to become another episode.
This is famping, because this is fancy camping. But let's go ahead and just segue into glamping, because we might go over an hour on this. Sorry guys, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry, but we're going to talk about glamping now, and it's probably going to take a while, because I have mixed feelings on glamping.
I feel like glamping is just a luxury hotel room out in a tent.
Yeah, we're talking 5-star resort, but with more trees around you.
Well, and it's just the ultimate in 1%er life. Like, I just was reading this morning, my iPad dinged at me, and it was talking about, what was it, Kardashian and Kanye. They were trying to repair their marriage they rented out this entire ranch, glamping ranch in Colorado for $43,000 a night. Whew. So just think about that. Like, the entire yearly income of a lower middle class person, just a night, just to stay in a tent.
Yeah.
But then I think it's not just a tent. I looked at the pictures. There's, like, a full bathroom. You have all of these amenities. I don't know what it is about 1%ers and wood stoves. I have a wood stove to stay warm, but it's like a novelty to them. Uh-huh. Is it because it's old school?
City people.
What is it about wood stoves with them?
City people who are used to the 1%er life.
I have a wood stove because the power goes out every year, and it's free heat.
These people that glamp, they don't want to have the barbaric experience that I crave. They want to just basically live like they're living, lavishly. But for whatever reason, just in the forest. I don't understand. Why can't you just have a mansion in the wilderness? It doesn't make sense to set up all these weird things that... It's like a very rough, like, camping simulator, I guess. Well, and maybe it's what it is. But you guys have to see the pictures. You'll know what we're talking about.
We'll link to the article.
Yeah, we're going to link to the article, and I'll put some screenshots up on our Facebook or something in our Twitter. Well, so you gotta see this freaking camp, like, the way they were camping. Like, it's pretty much... Like, there's tile flooring in the tent. How does that make any sense?
Well, and then they have spas.
What do you mean tile floor for? Like, you're out in the dirt. The camping is supposed to be dirty, I thought.
No, it's anchored into the bedrock. Like, they repeated that a lot.
What I'm gonna guess is they didn't get any marshmallow on their freaking Gucci clothes or whatever.
Well, and how
whatever Kanye wears, I don't know.
Maybe is it just so instead of smelling the urine in the city on the sidewalks, you're instead smelling like the birch trees? Like, what about it doesn't?
Can't you just get a Yankee candle?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that glamping? Just sit in your mansion with a couple Yankee candles,
in the bathtub, get a birch one and a cedar one. It's like, I'm glamping.
Yeah, go to Home Depot. Okay, buy some cedar, and get it wet.
I think
it's more... you'll have the same experience as glamping.
You're not experiencing anything with the Yankee candle. I
just don't understand glamping. Another link I'm gonna try to remember to post is there's this YouTube channel called Dope or Nope where they just review products. Mm-hmm. And it's usually just kind of absurd products. Okay. And they did a whole episode on glamping. And some of these things, man, oh my god. And we're talking about, like, poor people glamping, too. Not like like Kanye, $43,000 a night.
No, there's a lot of them that are in the $200 to $300 a night range. There's glamping, so you're thinking more upper middle class. And they have yoga classes. Yeah. Somebody will come by in a UTV and take you out for guided hikes. Yeah. It's a big deal, and it's a huge deal right now. It's the #1 trend in camping right now, glamping.
Yeah, well, I just don't understand. Is it just because they're trying to conform the camping culture to, like, the 21st century?
I don't know. Glamping, to me, I would feel kind of wasteful, and that's just because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, especially in America, we've grown accustomed to a certain lifestyle where even our poverty is quite lavish, really, compared to, like, a third world country.
Well,
if I was ever going to be homeless, I'd rather be homeless in America for sure
than anywhere else.
But if I was ever homeless, I would probably find some state land and just live off the land instead of being in a city. And again, that's the camping experience I want.
Yeah. Well, and
It's
that's
basically just be homeless, but in the woods.
I
There's a
think
lot
it's-
more like things to live on than begging for change on the freeway. So
Ooh.
I feel like I would just take more responsibility for myself if I was homeless. But like glamping is like a whole other thing where like, again, tile floors in a tent. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the culture of glamping.
Well, and glamping is not new. There's
No,
a
it's
history to
not.
glamping. Safari culture. The rich have been doing glamping for a long time.
Yeah.
The aristocracy in England are very, very good at it. And their safari camps, even in the 1800s, are what glamping is modeled after now, except for
Yeah.
obviously they have Wi-Fi now. But
Yeah.
they had these huge tent cities. They still have them. You can look at them if you look online. And I think that that's a lot of what glamping is modeled after is everybody's trying to be a one percenter.
Uh-huh.
And I like comforts. I love the 21st
you know
century. I want my dishwasher. But on the flip side, there's a lot of logistics and waste that go into camping like
Yeah,
that.
a dishwasher should not be part of camping.
You think that you should just eat off of, a lot
Like
of times
you shouldn't even have Dawn soap with you at all.
when you're
But again, this is my opinion, and this is why it's divisive. Like
well, and I think that's
I kind of look down on glamping a little bit, just because it's like this. I just don't see the point. That's all.
I kind of feel glamping.
It's not camping. It's glamping.
I feel like glamping is
If you
just
don't, sorry, we said glamping a lot. It means glamorous camping.
yes, and it also is not just intense. There's glamping little like they like to. It started with there's this Mary Jane's Farm thing,
Yeah.
and they have little trailers. You know the little cutesy ones from the 50s and 60s, and they remodel them, and so they have like it's like a set design. And that's glamping too. Like it has to have a look to be glamping. I'm usually 42 shades of dirty when I'm camping because I don't mind getting dirty. I think
Yeah,
that's
even
part
with
of
your
camping.
one percenter trailer, like that's basically you're probably just gonna spend most of your time in the camper itself sleeping.
Yeah, you don't use it. Well, you know what it is
Because if you're gonna be out, why not be outside?
well, like last weekend when I was up on the Pack River for 3 days, I was only in here to sleep and grab things out of the fridge. The whole rest of the time,
Yeah.
I'm out.
I have no problem if you're gonna be out for a few weeks. Definitely have a fridge, but you need electricity to run a fridge, and that comes. It goes hand in hand with having a camping trailer.
I kind of don't
Some
consider my
propane
RV camping though. That's my thing. RVing to me is different. It's like a hotel
Yeah.
room on wheels, but that's to me. That's my own opinion. Whereas camping is you go out and you get dirty. You don't have running water.
Yeah.
And that's maybe our
Get in
opinions.
touch with nature.
Is it because of where we live? Our opinions are maybe skewed a little bit because
I think
find
it might be because again, I'm not like I grew up in the city, but I've always kind of been more towards the outdoorsy type.
when I grew up in the wilderness and I just I can't. It was normal for family members of mine to be living in the woods for multiple months at a time. We also had elk camp.
That's the hashtag Alaska life.
Yeah, and northern Washington like that was
there's a reason like the Discovery Channel is pretty much just Alaska shows.
well, and a lot of the that is another topic we're going to talk about. A lot of the Alaska shows, I actually know some of the people and grew up with them.
Yeah.
That is a pet peeve of mine. But anyways,
but people
some
are
of it
like
is not accurate.
I think we glorify the camping experience, but then we want to go out and glamp.
Well, and what is it about glamping? All I can think of is a lot of people, I think it's an exclusive thing. Like, you can say, oh, I was at this resort and we totally just watched the stars. And, oh, yeah, by the way, I had a tiled bathroom in my tent.
Uh-huh.
How is that?
That's ridiculous.
Authentic?
The closest thing to glamping I'll ever do is maybe bring, like, an inflatable couch camping. Just because, like,
Ooh.
I mean, really, the ground is hard. It hurts.
Well, just a camp
You can only
chair.
sit on it for so long. The camping chairs are all right, but, like, I just like inflatable couches. They're so comfy.
We had an inflatable couch at 4-H camp, and it's really, really fun also to have gigantic heathen children, and you sit on it, and they bounce on the couch and launch you. It's also like a weapon.
Like
so
the
it's
Blob.
fun.
I freaking love the Blob. Again, we need to
adult,
start adult summer camp.
Please, whoever is out there listening that's like a venture capitalist, start adult summer camp.
And
I'll go.
We'll have different sections of the camp where if you want to be a glamper, we'll have a real 1%er experience.
You
And
just pay extra.
otherwise, you get the normal summer camp experience, but with cool adult amenities instead of like, okay, we're going to do Bible study at 7 in the morning, and then we're going to have a big plate of spaghetti, and then we're going to go out and hike.
I wanted.
No, we're going to have jet skis and dirt bikes and
I
freaking
want to
fun
go to
in a
grown-up
bar.
camp. I was too poor to go to camp when I was a kid. A lot of my friends got to go, but I never did get to because I didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
I went and did work at camps when I was an older, like young adult for youth camps. I was like the cook at home and stuff, but I would love to have that experience, and I think there might be a lot of people like us that would like it. I think that needs to be a thing because glamping. If I want to go to a spa or any of those things, I'm probably just gonna go to a fancy, nice hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, why don't you just go to like a hotel and just do that?
But you can't smell the
like,
birch.
If you're as rich as Kanye West, you could just buy a hotel for God's sakes.
Well, he did pretty much buy
Let
the
alone
ranch.
you can go stay in like the fanciest hotels. But a ranch, like if you want the outdoor experience, Kanye, here's my advice: just go outside.
Or
Don't bring a freaking mansion with you, a mansion tent.
I feel like there are also ranches that need to bring in their cattle for winter pasture that you could just go stay on one for free and do labor, and then you could get the whole authentic experience.
Go work on a farm.
Yeah, we can always
go stay on
workers.
a farm. Go find a ranches always need ranch hands.
Well, because that's just maybe that's why glamping rubs us the wrong way. Is it's not authentic. There's not even when you camp in an RV.
Thing,
it's kind of like it's like you're skirting what camping actually is.
It's so disingenuous.
Yeah, maybe
to even think about to me.
You know, I sort of feel like someone in the late industrial age that's like railing against the rich talking about this. I honestly don't care if you want to glamp, and maybe someone needs to talk to us about it. And they
I'm not trying to bash you guys. But I just personally don't like that culture.
Well, and that's just it. I'm more of a minimalist. I don't need a lot of things. I don't. In fact, if you look around my farm, all of the things I have are to do work, with the exception of this. And I actually bought this because my children show animals. So it is a tool because I did sleep on the ground for a week, and at fair I would walk 40 to 90 miles a year.
But you're talking about, staying at a fairgrounds where there's not a hotel.
Oh gosh, it was and that's what I'm saying. It was all utilitarian. Utilitarian. That's kind of how I am. And so, but people that like toys, fine. I like you said, we would like a jet ski to rip around on, but honestly, sometimes I like to just sit and enjoy the quiet.
That's my favorite part of camping. There's a surreal, there's a serenity to it. Let's just put it that way. It's very relaxing and calm to just sit there. No responsibilities other than stay alive. Don't fuck with the bears.
Yeah.
You just sit there and enjoy the nature sounds and the quiet and the fresh air with all the trees producing oxygen around you. And you just it gives you like a perspective, especially when I, grew up in the city.
Always noise.
Any chance I got to go out in the woods, I took it because it was there's so much noise in the city.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of just messes with your primal instincts to have all the city noise. And you go out into the wilderness and you just feel like you belong. And it's relaxing, and you're sitting, let's say you're by a lake, you're just sitting by a lake enjoying it. I love it.
Well,
I want it now. I can't wait to go camping again.
My favorite one is when I was in my hammock and it was 2 a.m. and I was awake because of the bear, but after he went away, it was a meteor shower.
Yeah.
And I laid there and just watched the meteors all night, and it was so relaxing and peaceful, and I didn't have, any responsibilities. And so maybe that's the allure of glamping, is some people just really do like the extra amenities, and then also they want to be out. Because a lot of the glamping places are beautiful. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't dislike them. That could be it. Maybe it's just people used to a certain lifestyle, and maybe we haven't experienced that and we don't understand it.
Maybe
I have been some really fancy places in my life just because of some of the people I know, and to me, I always feel a little uncomfortable.
Well, like I said, growing up, when we went camping, we had an RV. Mm-hmm. It was either our RV or before we had an RV, our uncle had an RV, and I didn't spend almost any time at all in the RV other than sleeping.
I was always out and about.
And I would have rather had a tent, but we didn't have one. We just had the RV. But we always went to campgrounds because that's where you hook your RV at. It's not like we went in the middle of nowhere. And at the campgrounds, they have like a little convenience store and a laundromat and showers. And it's like, it wasn't the camping. Because I tried to walk away from the campground and go to the lake and just sit by the lake and be, or just go hiking through woods where there was no trail. Because I wanted to get away from that. I was like, I might as well have stayed home and played video games if I'm going to be at a campground.
Well, and it's all the noise. Yeah, I grew up around not people, so campgrounds were fascinating to me because I got to be around other people. Whereas now, as I'm older, I'm like, I don't want to be around 6,000 people. I want to
go out alone, man.
Yeah, so you might be more of a backcountry or authentic camper.
I think I just like the isolation of it. And the night sky is unbelievable.
No noise. Yeah, no light
when there's no light pollution.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the night sky without light pollution, you're missing out.
Oh, and desert camping? The night sky in the desert is insanity. I love it so much. We stayed at the Air Force Base there by White Sands, and it's not a real big one, so the night sky was just so nice.
It's unbelievable, and you really feel so small when you see it. If you have never seen the Milky Way belt night sky, you guys, come on. Our ancient people, that's all they saw every single night. And we're missing out on that. A lot of people have never even seen it. I've only seen it once personally because I was out in the desert.
Oh.
It wasn't camping by any means. We were out. One of my uncles is pretty wealthy, and he owns a pretty lavish mobile home out off of this river in Arizona. But there was no light pollution at night, so
the
entire sky just lights up. It's like something out of a painting.
Yeah.
Like you're inside a painting. It's amazing.
In Alaska, it was that way. There's no street lights.
I think that's my favorite part of camping is at night. Mm-hmm. When the campfires start to die down, the energy's lower. Everybody's less excited about the whole experience.
You're full because you ate all that food.
You're all sugar high from the s'mores, but then it's like you get to just lay there and look up and just not have any worries and stress in life, and then you get this just weird existential feeling. Like sometimes it's a crisis. I've had one time where it was an existential crisis. The first time I ever saw like the night sky the way it's supposed to be.
Did it upset you?
I don't know if it upset me necessarily, but it put me in perspective. Like, we are freaking small. Even our giant rock we live on is small compared to the universe out there. And I can't wait to do our space episode because I just love it.
Do you think that that's why so many of us are angry and such huge jerks right now, is we are out of touch with our smallness? Like, everybody is so self-important because
with our smallness and
we're always tuned into each other all the time. Yeah. We don't have reflective time. Because I will hear, we just built that deck. Mm-hmm. My goal in life is to go out in the morning. I like quiet time in the morning, too. And I just look at the cows. Coffee and cows. Mm-hmm. And it's just silent. And I can think... But then my problem is I go on these brainwave things, which I know you'd know about. Usually they're at 2 in the morning.
Yes.
And those happen camping, but they're a little more peaceful and zen for me. I have not had an existential crisis camping because I think some of it is I've always grown up out.
Well, it wasn't the camping that gave me the crisis. It was the night sky for the first time.
Well, you got to see how big it was.
I'd never even seen pictures of it the way it was supposed to be before, and when I saw it in real life, I'm like, the experience is you cannot match experience with anything except for just experiencing it.
You might have to go on a field trip to Alaska with me for Northern Borealis.
Yeah, that was the other time I saw the night sky was in Alaska.
Yeah, there's not a lot of light pollution there in places.
We were driving to, it was that same company I traveled with, doing inventory up there, because I was the elite inventory counter, and they sent the elite ones up to Alaska to do stores up there.
Elite inventory counter. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
That's very American.
It was glorious, I guess.
Yes, I guess. No, I like it.
I guess I hold that title.
I want to see your trophy.
I was competent.
I was competent.
I have 10 fingers and 10 toes.
And you can count.
And so I put those to use. Let's put it that way. But anyway, we were up in Alaska, and we were driving from. It was somewhere in. I think we were in Anchorage. I'm trying to remember. But we were driving from somewhere outside of Anchorage. We did a store back to Anchorage, but it was like 3 a.m.
Okay.
And that was the other time I saw the night sky. We stopped to like pee and get gas. And I walked like a few hundred feet away from the gas station, and there was such little light pollution that the whole sky just lit up, and I was just, I don't know. I always feel at home I guess there.
Well, I think it puts you in touch with, like you said, though, your smallness. We're actually, we get these egos when you're doing all your things. I feel like maybe that's what we're talking about here. This episode's helped me really realize is there's so many different aspects to camping. It's almost like everything else. You have people that are looking for an escape. Mm-hmm. You have people that are looking to get in touch with their humanity. You have people that are looking to show how capable and competent and awesome and conquer the elements. So it's like,
which is fun, by the way.
Oh, I love it. So it's like, I kind of want to know, I want our listeners to tell us what camping means to them. I like the discussion. I want to know what camping does for you. Do you even like it? Are you like, your wife? Because it's not really
do you have to have indoor plumbing to poop?
Yeah, like...
Or an RV, for that matter.
She's going to kill us for talking about pooping and referring it to her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well,
she knew I was going to talk about it. I had to bring it up.
But I think it's important to my husband. That's why we got this. It's like where he goes is important. I think it is important because some people don't want to be uncomfortable while they do that stuff.
I understand. I do like being comfortable when I do my business. My number twos. But I also was hiking. One time we were camping, RV camping, obviously, in Wallowa Lake, Oregon.
Okay.
That's an amazing campground if you ever have to camp with an RV. Mm-hmm. But I went and we were hiking this hillside, and I don't know what I ate. I think it was we had done some fishing, and I ate some fish, and it just wasn't agreeing with me very well, so I had to go number 2, and that was the only time I'd ever had to go number 2 without a toilet.
Are you serious?
Other than when I was a kid in my pants or whatever, right? But, and it wasn't actually that bad. Like, just squat, get it out, done, over with, walk away. It was a bit funny thinking about other animals coming across it.
Oh yeah, because they're totally going to.
Yeah, so I didn't mind it that much. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't comfortable by any means.
Oh my gosh.
But it just got it out. It was relieving, just like it is relieving on the toilet. I didn't have to have a squatty potty.
How old were you when your first pooping experience in the woods?
That was 16.
Wow, because my dad's a timber faller when I was a kid, so
oh, yeah, I'm sure
it was just normal.
Yeah,
like, you went
exactly.
to the bathroom in the woods if you didn't even think about it because
Yeah.
you were out there. I don't even know. I feel like this is like woods pooping virginity discussion. Like, maybe you guys can tell us about that too. I would like to hear these stories. I love.
How many of
stories.
you? How old were you guys when you popped your woods pooping cherry?
Oh my god!
Let's discuss it. It's a real discussion.
I would like. Well, and then are there
guys.
people out there that have never not gone on a toilet? Like,
Yeah.
do you exist? Are there?
Yeah, there's got to be.
There's got to be, right? I don't know. I'm in awe right
Does
now.
a bear shit in the woods? We have to ask.
Well, I've seen that.
Since we're on the subject.
They do. I've seen
confirmed, guys.
in real
Hashtag
life.
confirmed. Bears do shit in the woods. I've stepped in it.
I have watched it in person numerous times.
Yeah.
They love to go poo poo. Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up on bear shit.
It's not on our shoes right now, so we're good. It's gonna be.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, everybody, for listening. As you know, we like to end every episode off with a positive news story, but today we're going to break the mold a little bit, and you'll see why in just a second.
Today's news article comes to us from Live Science, and we thought it'd be kind of cool since we were doing a camping episode to, talk about something that is awesome and that we don't have to live with because of the time we live in. So our article is Cretaceous Terror Crocodile Crushed Dinosaurs with Banana-Sized Teeth. This enormous predator had jaws powerful enough to subdue massive dinosaur prey. And I kid you not, we're going to link the article. There is a giant crocodile eating a T-Rex in the picture, and I know it's a rendering, but just think about if you went camping these days, and you had to worry about when you go to the edge of the pool, something with banana-sized teeth smashing you.
Thank God we don't got to worry about that. Be sure to follow us on social media for more content, and smash that like button.